He's a fake. I know him. I know them all. They're all fake. And they have no interest in that prisoner. That prisoner's record is unbelievably bad. They talk about how evil I am, that this man would be thrown out of our country. This man is according to certified statements that we get, is a very violent person. And they want this man to be brought back into our country where he can be free and to stay as a happily Maryland, they call him the Maryland man. He's a Maryland father. No, this is a violent person.
By the way, I just did a Trump quote, and I just said, did it have to be the stupidest person in the world? I feel like I lose a brain cell every time he speaks. But rapper Azelia Banks, are you familiar?
Oh, I am familiar.
I turn to her for all my voting advice.
Yes,
no, she's so tragic because her music is so fun, and she's a crazy producer, like so talented.
Oh, okay.
But then she decides to be crazy.
Should I be left-wing Laura Ingraham? Just shut up and sing. She's a prominent supporter of Trump's, who once called him my hero. Is singing a new tune. Oh, she's in the leopard face-eating party. Mm-hmm. Okay. She said, okay, I think it's time everyone who voted for Trump admit that we made a mess. This is an absolute disaster. All right, we got to give her props. Right, John?
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Awakening should not be met with smug liberal I told you so's. Okay, go on. Go on.
I never thought we bonded over bigotry, but they weren't supposed to turn on me. No, I never thought the lepers would eat my face.
Yes, hi. Sorry, John. I was calling an audible. Uh-oh. Okay, she also initially gave Trump a backhanded endorsement in 2016 also. She said, I think Donald Trump is evil like America is evil, and in order for America to keep up with itself, it needs him. She said it takes to know, so we may as well put a piece of in the White House. John, every day there's a story about how we got here. Stories like that and how many people she influenced, right?
Yeah. I mean, this is where we're at, but I'm sorry. I saw last night we were on the air for about 2 hours, and then the Chris Van Hollen photo came through of him. I mean, we've been on the air for about 2 hours of this, and my heart needed it so bad. I mean, Chris Van Hollen, mild-mannered Maryland Democrat, right? This guy goes to El Salvador like Liam Neeson in a Taken movie, but without any particular skills. And Salvador's vice president's like, oh, we're paid to keep him here. Sorry. My pimp says no. My pimp says no. and the Trumpers are all furious at this man because he cares about human rights instead of a prison photo op like Kristi Noem looking like one of Satan's trophy wives. And then the Republicans are trying to call Van Hollen the villain because he's trying to get a dad out of prison. Do you remember Donald Trump's original selling point to Republicans was that he was different from Bush and Cheney? This is a renditioning. This is a trafficking. We don't call this deportations. Deportations are legal. And this is where we are, Steffi. One party wants to get a dad out of jail who's been illegally put there, and the other party wants ChatGPT to give it some good reasons to say out loud that won't make them look bad. Chris Van Hollen is not just fighting for this guy's freedom. This guy is fighting to prove that laws still matter. Democrats, this is what you should be doing. Stop being afraid to look fascists in the eye. So go Chris Van Hollen.
Yeah.
Yesterday you were beige. Today you're my rainbow.
And you said it on a Blue Sky, John. You said a Chicago Bulls hoodie makes Kilmar Garcia a gangbanger the same way a shiny, Gold Cross makes Caroline Levitt a Christian.
Exactly.
I saved this meme for you because could you take your organ out for me, Bella? Thank you. It reminded me of John. Maybe you posted this meme. Who knows? You said if you see a blonde white woman wearing a cross on Fox News, you know you're about to hear the most anti-Jesus you've ever heard in your life. That was John Pavlovitz. That's John Pavlovitz.
Yes,
our other pastor friend.
Yeah, I saw it. Look, I'm a big fan of Pam Bondi, Bribery Barbie, as a fan of comedy. My God, Pam Bondi, Florida's most reliable source of hairspray and bad choices. The only thing Pam Bondi's ever prosecuted correctly was her bribery check from Trump University. And then John Roberts getting in on this. But Judge Boasberg, man, Judge Boasberg drops this 46-page diss track on Trump yesterday. Put them under oath. Put Pam Bondi, J.D. Vance, Donald Trump, Marco Rubio, and Stephen Miller, the gerbil Goebbels. They've all come out and lied so much about this guy. put them under oath. But Trump came out and said that Boasberg has Trump derangement syndrome. That's what he's got.
You said the same thing I did. I hope he sues the bejesus out of them. You said the subject has no criminal history. You said imagine the lawsuits against Bondi, Rubio, Vance, and Trump. And
for the rest of our lives, for all these men that have been trafficked. I mean, imagine for all these innocent men that have been sent away without due process in violation of our law. Steffi, you and me and your very attractive audience are going to be paying reparations to these men for decades to come.
Yeah, I mean, we were saying that he happens to be the one in the spotlight, John, but there's story after story that's coming out of
that's right.
Hairdressers, makeup artists, soccer players, whoever, just people that are getting, I just saw another story. I don't even know if I have it in front of me, another story yesterday, John, but anyway. By the way, true. I thought of you too, though. Here's what gives me hope. You,
please,
a woman in the Chuck Grassley, in Ruby Red, Iowa, in the town hall. Yeah. She said the thing you always say. She said, "I'm a Christian. The number one thing Jesus said was welcome the stranger."
She quoted Matthew 25. Was that amazing?
It was great.
Listen, I don't believe in cruelty to fossils, but I loved seeing all those people yell at Chuck Grassley. I mean, seeing all these middle-aged white folks standing up in Iowa and saying, "What about that fella in El Salvador?" It was filling my heart this week.
That's honestly, why they had to cave and let Van Hollen see him. Because
exactly. They are scared. They're so, and by the way, they're so angry in Iowa, they're only going to re-elect Chuck Grassley 4 or 5 more times, tops.
Bella, you could take your organ back out. Thanks very much. Save this one
you,
for you as well.
I kept mine out the entire time. It's easier for me on
no
Zoom.
Room
Please,
for it. There's
ahead,
no room for it anywhere else.
Well, I'm in a different building. That's
it can't really be. It can't really be contained, can it?
I open the window. We're fine.
Trump smiles as pastor tells him God assigned an angel to save him from an assassin.
Yeah, by the way, that pastor, go to hell, go straightly to hell. Every fake Christian who says that God was looking out for Trump in his little assassination attempt is a fake Christian saying God wanted that poor bastard sitting behind Trump to catch a bullet in front of his kids. These people don't think before they talk. It's unholy and it's blasphemy.
By the way, I couldn't wait to
And I'm not even talking about RFK Jr. yet. We'll get there, right?
Let's get there.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, speaking of family values, meaning people whose whole families don't talk to them anymore, destroying families. Yeah. I mean, I said this morning off air, John, to Chris, can you imagine how autistic kids felt hearing him say all that stuff?
Well, fortunately, autistic kids don't give a rat's ass about RFK Jr. and aren't listening to his speech. But autistic adults have heard it all week, and I've been furious about it. I mean, you guys heard it, saying that these kids will never pay taxes and never hold a job and never play baseball, never go on a date. I don't know if RFK Jr.'s ever done any of those things in his entire life, by the way, but he was erasing all the autistic people who can do those things. Yeah. This is a guy whose dad, history friends, this is a guy whose dad gave his grandfather gave his own daughter a lobotomy. And watching it, I said this, other people said it. You know what autistic kids that I know will probably never do? They're never going to behead a whale with a chainsaw or drag a dead bear cub through Manhattan or drive their wife to suicide over their adultery diary or ruin Cheryl Hines' career. Mm-hmm. No autistic people have ruined Cheryl Hines' career ever. That was a heteronormative guy like RFK.
Yeah, well, and whose whole family doesn't speak to him. He's talking about what destroys families. And I don't know how many people said autism didn't destroy my family, but Fox News did.
Look at how he destroyed his own family. Yeah. Everyone. Why the Democrats didn't just say, Google RFK's wife. He destroyed his own family. Mm-hmm. He's not even invited to Hyannisport anymore. And if he thinks autistic people don't pay taxes, then the IRS owes a lot of hardworking people I know a lot of refunds.
Adam Kinzinger tweeted, I have a friend that guarded Saddam Hussein after his capture. He said he was quite nice and friendly. Reminds me of Bill Maher's meeting with Trump. Being nice doesn't mean you're not a bad man. John, just this normalization of a monster just for your own... just for your own, I don't know, self-aggrandizement or whatever it is. He's just,
Can I give you a little song? Can I give you a little bit of a little song about it?
Sure. Yes.
Come with me and you'll be in a world of pure emasculation. Every chump bends to Trump, joins a world of eunuchs in prostration. Media, academia, law firms all in weak capitulation. Lick the boot, it's a fascist castration. If you one of you groveling, come to Mar-a-Lago, view it. Humiliate yourself, just do it. Surrender in advance, there's nothing to it. Bow the head, kiss the knee, kneel and kiss the cloven hope of Satan. Way down there you may see where your manhood used to be. Thank you very much.
Wow. You know, this is the reason to go to sexyliberal.com and get all of the Sexy Liberal shows available.
Yes.
I just heard Frangela talking about, seriously, your films during COVID in New York were like Oscar worthy.
Yeah.
And people, the sketches we did, you playing Giuliani, you playing Jerry Falwell Jr.
So many tissues.
Oh, my God.
So many.
Oh my
So
God.
many tissues.
But you know what? It also is a good reminder of what we went through during COVID and the fact that we could ever have reelected this guy.
And the fact that we all came together during COVID to beat this guy. That's what we forgot. Look, in COVID, everybody was a news nerd.
Yeah.
We're all trapped in the house.
Yeah.
We're all watching the news. We're all engaged. We're all getting our mail ballots. Rolling Stone has a great piece this week on what happened. It's not that Trump got more popular. It's that fewer of us turned out to vote because the gaslighting worked.
I'm glad you mentioned them. By the way, Attorney Ryan, who I follow, said The Atlantic, Rolling Stone, and Wired are stepping up even in the face of tremendous threats from the Trump regime. Please keep supporting these organizations who are exposing Trump's corruption. And thank you. And you said the revolution will not be televised. A live stream seems unavoidable, though.
Can I make an announcement as well? Can I announce the thing here? You know we got a thing to announce. As you guys know, Amber Ruffin was just fired as the performer at the White House Correspondence Dinner. So we are doing an event. A bunch of liberal pals that, Stephanie, I'd love to announce right here, with our friends at Political Voices Network. On Saturday, April 26th, we're doing the Not the White House Correspondence Dinner pay-per-view special at 9 p.m. Not another comedy show. This is a takedown on the media, on the White House, and we've got so many great comics and performers. Hal's doing it, Alonzo Bowden, Trey Crowder, the liberal redneck, Glenn Kirschner, Allison Gill of Muller, She Wrote, Brooklyn Dad Defiant, JoJo from Jerz, Dino Badala, TV's friend.
Wow.
Elaine Boozler is going to be doing a set with us. Everyone's doing their own 5-minute version of what they would do for the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Please watch us Saturday the 26th. Instead of that other thing, it's only $20.26, which is a number we have to think about.
I get it. $20.
Meethook.live/not for anyone who's not afraid of comedy or free speech.
Yep.
Thank you, Stephanie.
You're welcome. By the way, speaking of the revolution, AOC just raised $9.6 million. Bernie raised $11.5 million. Jasmine Crockett doubled her haul. No billionaire sugar daddies needed, just the power of pissed off people. And Mark tweeted, I've almost never posted poll numbers, but holy moly, Trump is tanking. Yeah. So the resistance is alive and well. And it's on Sirius XM every night on the John Fugelsang show. So please support all of us. And sexyliberal.com. Buy those specials. They are fantastic. Every live show we did, LA, Chicago, DC.
Yep.
And then the sketch shows from
all the COVID ones. Yeah.
Look, I said last fall that by the time we got to Valentine's Day, the Democratic Civil War would start to go away. And by the time we got to Easter, you'd see the resistance taking shape. And here we are. And it's only going to get stronger. And there's nothing they can do that's going to make them more popular. Let's just beat them up for 3.5 years and make sure that this ugly weed can never grow again.
Yep, absolutely. We love you, John Fugelsang.
Yes, John Fugelsang!
Hey, John Fugelsang here. You guys know what's happening to the country, and corporate media is not helping. But when the White House Correspondents' Dinner fires comedians, it's time we take back the mic and brutally mock them in the process. Join me and the Political Voices Network for Not the White House Correspondents' Dinner pay-per-view special on Saturday, April 26th at 9 p.m. Eastern. Not just another comedy show, it's a no-holds-barred takedown of media hypocrisy, political BS, and sanitized news with over a dozen fearless comics and influencers bringing truth with punchlines, including Hal Sparks, Alonzo Bowden, Trey Crowder, a.k.a. the liberal redneck, Glenn Kirschner, Allison Gill, Brooklyn Dad Defiant, Dino Badala, JoJo from Jerz, TV's Frank Conniff, and many more with special guest Miss Elaine Boozler. Catch the Not the White House Correspondents' Dinner live on April 26th instead of that other thing, or stream it on demand for $20.26, because that's a good number to think about. Go to www.meethook.live/not and get your ticket, because when they silence comedians, we get louder.